What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Philip the Deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Christopher James from Cage Soccer Christopher James. I am in Toronto, Canada today for UFC 206. The weigh-ins will be later on this afternoon, the official weigh-ins. The ones you guys get to see, you know, the fancy ones. But I am here with this man right here. He's not just a great fighter. He's an American hero as far as I'm concerned, Tim Kennedy. First of all, man, it's an honor to meet you. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely.
So, first thing I want to jump on is you're fighting Kelvin Gastelum. They booked you twice, but Rashad. Both of those fell out. You said you never expected to fight him because of his health issues. My question is, with Kelvin, you know, the guy missed weight at UFC 205, and they brought him up here, heavier weight. Do you think it's right that a guy like that, that's missed weight so many times, gets rewarded and keeps getting fights in the organization, and that you have to be the guy that has to deal with somebody like that?
They like him. You know, even though he's missed weight, he won the Ultimate Fighter. You know, he's Latino. He fits a couple of bills that they need to perpetuate. One is the success of the Ultimate Fighter TV show. Sure. And the other is their ever-growing reach for Central and South America.
Right.
So, you know, he's both of those things.
Yeah.
He's very talented.
No doubt about it.
He is. He has raw gifts. He's fast. He's powerful.
He's still young.
Very young, and he gets better every single fight. You know, his fight against Johnny Hendricks, you know, we saw a much improved version of his striking. His wrestling is ever present, you know, which we got to see against Uriah Faber. So, no, it's a travesty when somebody that cheats or fails to do what they're supposed to do as a professional athlete is then rewarded. But it's a tale that we see over and over again in the UFC. Steroid users that then get title shots, Vitor Belfort, for instance.
Right.
I am the opposite end of that spectrum, where obviously I do the best as I can at all times to follow the rules, and so I don't think it's the best thing for the sport or for the athletes when, you know, a guy that doesn't act like a professional is rewarded.
Do you go into the fight any differently mentally, or do you just go, you know, it's just another day at the office, I'm going to go out there and do what I do?
No, it doesn't matter who's in there. You know, I'm much more of an internal preparer. I worry about how I am, how my striking is, how my wrestling is, you know, and much less about who they are and what they do.
So, you know, and speaking of professionalism and making weight and the steroids, this card took another hit tonight. Anthony Pettis, 3 pounds over. Now, the UFC, in my opinion, is doing the right thing, keeping it as a title fight for Max, no title for Anthony.
Yeah.
He loses 20% of his purse. My personal opinion is I didn't think Anthony deserved to get into the title shot anyway. You know, one fight in the division, lost 3 before that. So, what's your take on that? Again, the professionalism, it seems to be, you know, your military background and what you do, I think, you know, the professionalism is one of those things that gets you, because it gets me.
Yeah. This is a business. It's an entertainment business. And not only has this card taken multiple hits, there could be ramifications of not having a title fight in the main event in regards to refunding tickets. Yeah. So they kind of have to.
Yeah.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yep.
You know, the business of the UFC making money, they have to do certain things, and when they've booked and billed specifically a pay-per-view card, you know, the 16,000 people that have bought tickets thus far, they booked and they bought those tickets to see a title fight.
Yep.
That's where that needs to happen for them to not be refunded their monny.
That's true. You know, I mean, I came up from Tampa, you know, to cover the event, but, you know, as a fan, you know, I wanted to see the big fight, you know, and I was ready to come up to do a whole week long of Anthony Johnson, but obviously he's not on the card, so this card's been crazy. Change of opponent for you. You know, I like to ask guys this. Change of opponent late notice. Does that affect what you do? And I know you said you focus on you, but obviously you got to know who you're fighting. So does it really affect you, or does it business as usual for Tim Kennedy?
I mean, there's some nights where it doesn't matter who I'm fighting. You know, in New York at 205, it could have been Brock Lesnar, you know, or 145-pound Anthony Pettis. It wouldn't have mattered. You know, I would have tore their arms off and beat them with them. Here, I actually asked for Kelvin when he missed weight at UFC 205. New York said we had to be within 5 pounds, which we were. So I was asking for him, but the UFC was mad at him, and they put him on a plane and got him out of there quick. Got him out of New York. So I've been looking at Kelvin. Before my sights were set on him, my training partner and teammate and friend Cowboy was going to fight him.
Sure.
I'm a switch stance, so I can fight from both left and right lead. And so I played Kelvin a lot during his fight camp. So I'm very familiar with Kelvin before, I was even looking at him as a potential opponent. So even with the change, it's fine.
Well, that's awesome. So we've covered all the fight stuff. The big thing that's going on with you and your teammate Cowboy, Cain Velasquez, TJ, you guys came out with Bjorn Revney, and you introduced us to the Mixed Martial Arts Athletes Association, which, by the way, before you say anything, I'm so happy that you guys did this, because it needed people like you guys to get out there and put their names on it. And the other ones that were trying to do it, the Professional Fighters Association, that's what it was. This one seems to be the only one that's actually got teeth on it right now. Some people have come out and said Bjorn Revney might not be the right guy. Malky Kawa came out and said he wouldn't get his fighters involved because he don't like Bjorn. But I think eventually they all will, because you guys are high profile, and not to fill your ego. Some guys, but you guys are the highest profile guys that have come out and said, this has to happen. I know you're pressed for time, so give me the Cliff Note version. What got you involved, and maybe a little bit on the future?
I've been involved since the beginning of my career. I've been a proponent for taking care of fighters, taking care of athletes, fair compensation, pensions, medicals, since the beginning. You go back to my first time in front of a camera with a mic. Nothing has changed. It's not no rhetoric, no narrative, no propaganda, no agenda.
And just so you know, I know that you've always been pro, but never to this with other people like this. I never thought this day was going to come.
Yeah, the day is here. Every fighter on the UFC roster will be part of this. I can't list the hundreds of names of people that are already supporting it. I have next week, so there's 5 board members, and before somebody's officially part of the association, they need to talk to one of us. All 4 of the 5 of us have fights coming up. Me personally, have 120 calls to make next week.
Wow.
Because so now there's 5 of us, so now you figure out how many total.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That's the roster.
That's the roster. So
it's crazy. I mean, and the buzz hit hard, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's here!" And I've been watching the Twitter feed. That's how I got this interview, because I hit you on the Twitter feed, because this is something I've always believed in, that fighters are getting screwed over, and the time has to come. And the UFC wants to be a major league sport, while all the other major league sports have players' associations or a union. So this had to come, but I didn't expect it. And the steam, like it's a steamroll. I watched the Twitter. I mean, Cole Miller. I'm just watching the names. I want in. Did you expect that right off the jump?
Yeah. With guys like George and Cain and TJ and Cowboy and myself, we're above reproach. We're not perfect, but we are consistent. We're Oaks, and there's no question. I speak plain. I'm not clever enough to be, this manipulative person.
Nope, you're a straightforward guy.
This is how I was raised, and this is how. So you get, you're gonna get the truth as best as I can tell it from my mouth, and I think everybody knows that. Dana knows that, and so when the 5 of us were sitting there, and you asked why now, why this group, with other groups, it was the right group of people with the right heart, with the right vision, with the right intent, all at the right time. And that took, really almost 2 years for, we've been talking, we've been moving, we've been strategically organizing, and for the announcement. The announcement is just that.
Just an announcement.
That was just an announcement. Wait until you start seeing what is actually really happening. We haven't laid out plans. We haven't told you what we're doing. We haven't said who's part of the association.
Right.
We're hinting at it. But when you guys get those little nuggets, it's just you're going to see the wizard behind the curtain. The blindfolders are off. There's this. We have changed the sport. We have.
And just from an announcement, imagine what's going to happen when wheels start moving.
Well, I already know.
Well, I'm saying to them out there, because
when you see what's on the wagon that's already moving.
Wow.
We've just said the wagon's there.
So you know, with that going on, you know, your fighting career, you know, I don't know what the UFC has planned for you as far as, you know, winning fights and, you know, maybe getting a title shot. But if they don't ever put you in another title fight and you take this union thing, the association, and you make that so all the fighters for the future are protected, is that okay to say that that's my legacy, and even if I was never the champ, am I good with that? Are you good with that?
I don't care about my legacy in the sport.
Wow.
That's not why I'm here. You know, that's not why I'm here on the planet. That's not what I'm good at. You know, like, I've vastly more important things, but I know what's right and wrong. I know what's just and unjust. I know what's fair and not fair. And what's happening with these athletes hasn't been fair. I'm not somebody that can just turn a blind eye and let, you know, these wrongs happen. And the way that it's been for the past 15 years is wrong. So I'm going to change that.
That's awesome, man. You're doing it for everybody. So, yeah, that's great. Well, listen, I know you got to go to the weigh-in. I appreciate you taking time out because I know you guys are busy. So, guys and girls, Tim Kennedy right here. He's the man. He's fighting Kelvin Gastelum tomorrow night, UFC 206. It's probably going to be a bad day for Kelvin, but it's going to be a good day for everybody if we get to watch this man fight. So, you know, that's it. Twitter, straight up Tim Kennedy. That's it. You're doing Instagram or any of the other silly stuff that the young kids do?
I'm Tim Kennedy MMA on everything. So Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Tim Kennedy MMA.
And that's it, boys and girls. So for Mr. Tim Kennedy, I am Christopher James. Thanks for tuning in. Your Cage Side.